the name of the game is, because when you say they have done walk to walk, they've done talk to talk, and that is extremely important for you to know that as well. It is important that we meet people who are what they're saying they are. So let's get cracking. Pre-Canada, unlock the wealth. Learning never stops. I'm gonna share some of the mistakes people made. A builder or a developer, when they make a mistake, you know what the cost is? A couple $1 million. Yikes. Nobody want to know that, but I'm going to share a big mistake made by a builder, and it's in the case. So those who are interested have time to step up. It's okay to volunteer some work. There are opportunities available in Whitby and Brampton for Habitat of Canada. If you want to participate, get your hands on the ham, learn the trade even, help the community. It's a beautiful thing to do regardless. This thing is also happening in Whitby though. So some good news, some bad news. I'm going to share all of them together with you quickly, and then we're going to bring our experts as we go along. Canadian economy shown some good numbers of creating some new jobs. About 88,000 jobs, unemployment rate have dropped. And people will argue, is that a summer job? What kind of jobs are they? Again, everybody has an opinion, but again, all the facts are in front of you though. Slumlord. Landlord. It is one of the most famous piece of property across Canada where this lady, she has several different names, including Caroline Goodman to whatever. She has several properties, and she was in defiance of all the court orders. When you do that, now eventually the judge got so upset at her that put her in jail for 15 days and $120,000 fine. It's frustrating for even the judge because some people don't want to listen. But again, this is how far the law can go. All right. So here is some bulk selling. This is a fire sale. Again, these sales happen. I don't know. Keith, are you there? Keith Martin, are you here? Or are you? Keith, are you there, my friend?
He was here.
Okay. Keith, are you there? Okay. Maybe he is camera shy and all right. Well, Keith Martin is one of the gentlemen. When we had a situation like this in Calgary a couple years ago, he picked up, I believe, one or two properties. Again, it was a bulk fire sale from a very reputable builder, and they came to us with about 40 or 45 units altogether. So you are able to negotiate much better with the builders now, as some of these builders are becoming super smart and they're turning into all these properties into rentals. Again, this is a Vancouver and Toronto is, I believe the inventory is shrinking pretty fast. And in my opinion, 2029, 2030, there is going to be a huge shortage and there is going to be another boom of condo market again. And we will see just the way how the demand and supply works. So nobody is building any more condos. Moving forward with this thing, if I could. This is another company who's buying about 1,000 properties. This is Jesta Group from Montreal. You will find that all these private equity companies who have a lot more money, they're coming in, and their strategy is simply go in, buy at a bulk, just like wholesale price, and eventually dump it down the market in 2030 or more. And they're making sure they have much, much better rental management skill. And what these companies are doing, they're adding a lot of value. And these companies are becoming super smart. And what they're asking tenant to get the loyalty of a client, they're offering a lot more than rental apartment only. And they're enhancing all these things with much, much better offers they can't refuse. And not only they're generating tremendous amount of cash flow, they got a loyalty tenant who will stay in the building for a long time to come. And that's the name of the game. Every time a tenant leave, turnover, you could have 2 or 3 months of loss of rent. And these companies come with very brilliant ideas. If you like, I'll be sharing with you some of the strategies. How do they come in? What is their acquisition is? What is the dispositioning is? And where do they find profit from day one? And what kind of drug they're offering to their clients. Toronto is getting hotter again. Rental properties are shifting. Right now, condos are dying very fast. Townhouses are in demand tremendously all across Canada. Again, people like to live on the ground, even the second, third floor. But again, this is something. But as long as rental is concerned, people are looking for a little bit luxury into it, something new to it. They don't want old building. They don't want cockroaches. They don't want a broken elevators or too many people or too many rundown cars. So majority of the tenants are looking for something a little bit classical. So if you are in the business of building brand new buildings or you're thinking about it or adding into multi-unit, the rents are there for you. Rent average, I mentioned to you, one of the best rentals you can get is 3 bedrooms. Rents have dropped all across Canada except one city. What's one city is that Kingston. Why? It is simply shortage of student rental. Student rental, senior rental is going to be the name of the game for next 10 to 15 years, even though there are some declines. There are few properties came in under the court orders. Some of you, anybody who's interested in acquiring a couple hundred units in Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge area, let us know. This will be a court sale, by the way, the one similar to what we had in Edmonton. Uh, this is a clever way of doing developers coming up with an ideas, enticing people to buy the condo. And they're saying, hey, you can put $1,000 a month for 4 years. You'll save $48,000 down payment. Is instead of renting it or rent to own, they're saying, hey, keep putting money up front. 4 years down the road, when the condo is ready, your down payment is ready. And I believe this is a great way of marketing it. And they say $250 a week. Again, we will see how this developer is Rosehaven Homes in case you want to look at it. And the building is known as Rebecca Residence. It's 23-story building. Again, it's in Hamilton, but they're building about 400 units or 393 units altogether. Just creative ideas. So there's another developer. Her name is Helen Chen's son. She did the same thing. She refused to obey the court orders, and she is a developer. Everything went upside down with her. So she had very large portfolio. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, we met her in 2008 in Vancouver in one of the convention. So anyway, this is something she's gonna be in all contempt of court or whatever the legal language they use. She will be in serving 40 days in jail, not realizing it. Again, this is a civil matter. Yeah, that happens. So this is a mistake. So some of you know that I have been teaching builders, developers for a while. I had a couple hundred developers or builders came in from Quebec and other provinces. So what happened with the one builder here? One stupid mistake. What's the cost? $1 million plus, I believe, $30 to $300,000 legal costs on top of it. What is required? It is required that there is something called condo guide, and they're supposed to deliver the condo buyer's guide. If you don't do that, your contract becomes null and void. So the developer lost the resale, lost the deposit, and he's also asked to pay $31,000 in court costs. In case you want to look into it, It is Dizenso Linear Park Holding versus the gentleman, and you can look at it again. One mistake is too many. All right, it's okay to learn. Americans are coming back to Canada. Their Canadian dollar is cheap. They love Canadian real estate. They love Canadian cottage area. And whether you're in Muskoka or in Okanagan in BC, they are coming in and they are buying a lot of cottages because why? They're dirt cheap and American dollar has higher value. In case you are thinking about flipping some cottages to Americans, that could be another venue for you. All right, so power sales are up and up, but most of you know that condos are dying, houses are booming. The market has shifted altogether. Some of the factual figures you might have seen it already. I just thought I should share with you. So this is a big headlines in the Toronto Star that most of the condos under the 700 square feet or 600 square feet are selling under the same price as 2017, which is more or less 9 years ago. And some of the one, I'll share one or two of them with you, where they lost half the value. Those condo speculators who are speculating, buying a small unit, renting it out, and breaking even, those are the ones who are hurting the most. And the market has shifted. International students have left. A lot of them left Canada. About 2 million short-term residents in Canada who are in and out are leaving because of inflation and other stuff at the same time. So here is the piece of property I mentioned. This is on 50 and O'Reilly Road. The owner bought paid 660 and in 22. Now recently sold for 335. Half of the value is gone. If you look at the condo, it's a one bedroom, one bath, one parking spot, about 600 square feet in Henry Ford. It's not that old building. Location is pretty reasonable. Again, this is keep happening. And part of it, this one is, in my opinion, is reasonably good deal. It will make sense, provided if you know if you can get the financing at the right place. So this is power of sales. We talk about it. The power sales have gone in the last 3 years from 578 power sales in Ontario to 2979, which is more or less 415% rise altogether. And most of the homes sold in between 2022 and now they're selling it for loss. And most of the homes sold were in Peel have lost money, which is region of Peel. That include Mississauga, Caledon, and Brampton. Toronto homes lost 22.3%, Durham have 23%, and now the first-time buyers are 40 years of age, and this is something you should be aware of it. So resale has improved the last 3 months, by the way. It doesn't mean the prices are gone up. That's in Toronto market, by the way. Randy Goodman is going to be away, but I'm going to be filling up for her. So these are 5 areas in Toronto where people are overbidding. By how much? From 100,000 to 200,000. Why this area is in demand? Riverdale Beaches, Valley Summerson, Dover Court, and Danforth. Of course, these are the areas which we call Old Toronto, and they're going to be always in demand. Even 25 feet lot is going from 1 to 1.5 million, and some of the investors turning single family home to multiplex. So June 9th is there. Okay, see our run date. Here is a new rule, by the way. A lot of you, if you're a landlord in Toronto, you're required to have AC for your tenants. It's a new bylaw. It's called cool space. And again, the cost for each unit could be 10 to 50,000. Who pays for you? The landlord. Again, these laws used to be mostly for heating. And now this is for cooling as well, because now we're getting a little bit hot weather. So this is no more, this is the new guidelines, by the way. Winter is 21 degrees from September to June 1st. And June 2nd to September 14th, you cannot have the temperature more than 26 degree. And the penalties, whoa, $100,000 for non-compliance. So this is 21 or 26 are the misery. They are, I believe, this is going to be tough for a lot of landlords who have older buildings and cost a lot of money, and they may not have the cash to install them. So student housing, again, senior housing, same loophole, a lot more money available. We're gonna, the rules may gonna change September, by the way, you're gonna move this one. So is it a big idea to turn into single family to 5 units? There are a lot of hidden costs. People don't realize that. And when they start doing it, last time I believe Jerry Hogenhout mentioned that they are in the process of acquiring a building where the owner was in trouble while it was in halfway through the construction. So, so that we are building a lot more rental units, but not enough as per required. And this is where I believe there's going to be this is the boom for next 10 to 20 years, where we have a lot of seniors in Canada. And now, what is the latest now? The latest is now seniors are becoming roomy. So some seniors don't have enough income. They are living with other seniors or the sharing. So there's a senior sharing is a new phenomena. You might have noticed that new tenants coming in and they're too old, two seniors. They're not related, but they're friends and they want to live or rent this same space for you. So we're going to bring our first guest, Jyoti Chaudhary. She's the lawyer. She's a lawyer from India, from UK and Canada. She practiced real estate. She also practiced mortgages and some other stuff, including small claims. Jyoti, it's all yours, my friend.
Thank you, Nabtaj, as always, for the wonderful introduction. Today, I believe, is Independence Day. You paid the last dollar to the Canadian government, and now the money that you earn will be yours. But there is a big catch here. You spend all your life earning money and saving it, but if you don't make a will, then you're giving it back to the Canadian government at the end of your life, which is not a pleasant thought because you have your family, your children, or your, chosen charities to give it to, and not having a will is disastrous. Because if you do not have a will, then it follows the Canadian court system. They appoint an estate trustee or an executor to manage your estate, and that is going to take a lot of time, a lot of legal expenses, and disputes within the family. So just to show you what happens when there is no will, how the property is distributed. It is certainly not distributed according to your wishes because you've not made a will specifying your wishes, but it is distributed as per the court's procedures. And basically, if you have a married spouse who's surviving you, then the money goes to the married spouse. And if there is a spouse and children, then the spouse gets a preferential share, and the children, the balance of the estate is distributed among the children. What happens if there are no children and no spouse? Then the government or the court system tries to trace the lineage, goes to the parents. If there are no parents, which obviously may be the case, it'll go to the siblings. If there are no siblings, then it goes to the nieces and nephews and other next of kin. Basically, it goes to like whoever the government can find. But if there is no family which can be found, it goes to the government of Canada, so or the Ontario government. So again, there is no Independence Day if you have not made a will and you die without a will, then all the money that you have earned and saved is going to the Canadian government if there are no heirs to claim it. So it is very important to make a will. Even the assets can be frozen without a will until it is probated, or there is an estate trustee who is appointed by the court as with a certificate of appointment from the court. Now, a will is a legal document which requires a few things to be valid. First of all, it has to be signed by the person who's making the will, the testator. And it has to be witnessed by two witnesses and signed in the presence of two witnesses. So there are certain legal requirements that make a will legally binding. And if you don't follow those, then the will is not legally binding and it can be thrown out by the court that this is not a valid will. Now, one important distinction between a will and a power of attorney is that a will comes into operation only after the death of the individual, whereas a power of attorney is during the person's lifetime. Say a person is unwell for any reason and he's not able to make any decisions regarding the property, regarding his investments, he needs a power of attorney for property. So somebody can manage his property while he's maybe out of the country or maybe he's not able to do it on his own. So that is an important document as well. Then there is another power of attorney, and that is not for property, but that is for personal care. So when there is a power of attorney for personal care, it means that the person who is appointed the attorney can make decisions for the healthcare and necessities of life and other things if required. Say, God forbid, a person is not in a state to decide on whether he wants the treatment or not because he's in a vegetable state. It is the attorney who will let the doctors know what are the wishes of the person who is in that state, whether he wants to be given that treatment, whether he does not want to be given that treatment. So the attorney will make the decisions of personal care if the person is not in a situation to do so. So in my opinion, these three documents are absolutely critical for every person. One is, of course, for distributing assets as per your own wishes instead of the court system taking over and distributing it as per their rules or whatever they have decided. So will is number one, but two equally important documents are power of attorney for property and power of attorney for personal care. So in my opinion, these three documents are essential for every person to have in a safe deposit locker or wherever they choose to keep it in a safe place. And if you need to locate a will of somebody, the best place would be to find it in the locker that the person would have. Most people keep it in the locker. Sometimes they keep it with the lawyer. I mean, personally, it is better for the testator to keep the original with himself rather than to give it to the lawyer so that he can let the family know that this is where the will is located. So these are the important differences between a will and a power of attorney. Will kicks in only after death of the person, whereas a power of attorney is during the lifetime of the person. If he's unable to make decisions for himself with respect to his personal care, or if he needs help in managing his investments or his property, then you have the power of attorney for property. So according to me, these documents should be made without delay And it is best to make them with a lawyer instead of going onto that online will drafting or preparation, because then you have a real live person who has, you know, helped you make it. He will cover all the legal loopholes and he will be able to guide you in the right manner. Some people say that it may be better to have a trust instead of a will. But in my opinion, that is not the case. And I mean, there are several reasons which we can talk later on a one-to-one, and I would be happy to help anybody looking for making a will or power of attorney. So whenever you feel the need, please do get in touch with me, and I will be more than happy to help you. Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
Jyoti. Appreciate it. Once again, thank you, Jyoti.
You're
Again,
very welcome.
what she said is so important, whether you are young or old. Will is the will, and this is something we all have assets. Otherwise, it can create a more mess. Second thing, power attorney. Be very careful. Some people create family trust. That's totally different ball game. Will, power attorney are the two elements one every investor must have. God forbid you got a handicap or you got some trouble, whatever it is important. Again, get in touch directly with Jyoti, and she'll be happy to provide you the information you require to move forward with your plans. Okay, taxes. Well, we pay too much taxes. Today is the first day or the last day. All the money you have earned today, you're not going to take a nickel or dime to your home. Why? Where is it going? It is going to the tax man. This is the tax freedom day. First 158 days. Average Canadian is going to pay about $73,000 in taxes. Is that a lot of money? Yes, it is. And it's important we do it every year. We explain to you, this is what we call silent heist. Where does the money go? From income tax, provincial tax, sales tax, HST, carbon tax, payroll deduction, blah, 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 all together. What do you need? You need some help. What kind of help you need? Planning and education. Who do you need? An expert, a CPA, a lawyer, a coach, whatever the experts you have in your entourage is better for you. If you're by yourself, you don't have experts, you might be losing a lot of money. You think you're saving money, but maybe not. And Jerry, are we here on the line? Jerry?
Jerry
Jerry.
couldn't get in.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. It was important for a lot of us to discuss. Again, Jerry Hogenhout is a CPA and CGA, and you can speak to him directly if you are in a situation where you feel that you're paying way too much taxes. Every investor must have their own CPA. Must have, period. And not two investors are exactly the same. No individuals are the same. Make sure you're getting advice from a licensed expert. It is the most critical part of it. Half of your money is gone. And other thing, what Jyoti was saying earlier, the day you die, the CRA consider everything has been sold and there's a capital gain to be paid. And if you don't have estate planning, other things you have done, you could be in deep water. And here is this one scenario I'd like to share with you. It's kind of sad but funny. The gentleman called me in. He said, my old man have died. I had to pay $250,000 tax, which I don't have. But I said, how much money he left behind you? If you have to pay 250,000, well, he left me about $1 million or something. So why are you swearing at your father who left you a lot of money? But he didn't know how to get the money and what to do with it, how to go through this and that. Again, he did not have a clue. And again, when you refer him to the CPA, the lawyer, the state lawyer, and so on, it got sorted out. But it is very annoying when, again, we all have to leave. Whenever we leave, make sure we have some planning ahead of the time, though. Keith Martin, can you unmute yourself for 1 second? Okay, Keith, yeah, you want to share something when we bought your property in Calgary from the builder at a discount?
Oh, yes. When we bought that one in Calgary, the builder was offering an incentive of 2 years of mortgage payments. And it was
Rental
based
guarantee.
on your purchase price. Pardon?
Yeah, and a rental guarantee.
Yeah, guaranteed it for 2 years
Right.
and you could rent it. So it was a real good deal.
Yes. So don't you think the developer was become fairly creative to unload all the inventory
It was a very creative method of unloading it without reducing the value of the property.
on the surface though, but they gave you a discount on the side,
Yep.
no payments for 2 years.
Uh-huh.
So this is how the builders are working right now. There are a few builders out there who have the inventory, who can offer you similar deals, exactly what we have done. That was the second largest builder in Canada. When Keith got his property in Calgary and a couple of others, our superstars got a few properties from them, and they turned out to be fairly profitable, in my opinion. But I have no idea now what's going on with those properties. But Keith, do you still have the property?
Yes, I do. And I'd have to check with my accountant, but I believe it is still cash flowing.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate it. All
No
right.
problem.
Moving forward with those who are interested in buying properties for pennies on a dollar, there are approximately 14 properties coming in Thunder Bay. They will be auctioned off on June 29th. So today is June 9th. We have plenty of time, about 20 days. Just Google the word or just go City of Thunder Bay tax sale properties. Check them out. Make sure you've done your proper due diligence. You're gonna find great bargains. You're also gonna find higher. There are always risks involved in it. What kind of property are they? Have you done your proper due diligence? And one mistake could be too many. And if you have not done any kind of educational training, be aware of it, but check them out. It doesn't matter. And you may gonna find something very interesting. It happens all around the year, all across Canada. Laws are different on each province to province basis. So please do check Thunder Bay when you want to buy a piece of property at a discount. Some of the properties might be fairly large. They will tell you exactly on the notice what is the minimum bid and what is the current market value or assessment value. Also interested in learning more, go to flippingforprofit.ca. We'll be happy to check it out. Now, this is another, I think we mentioned that this is about Rebecca. Sorry. So tomorrow is the day. So I'm going to ask all our experts, what do you think? What's going to happen tomorrow? Starting with Keith. Do you think they're going to change the interest rate, Keith?
No, I believe they're going to hold it.
Hold it. Vladimir?
In- I agree with the case in this case.
All right. Frank?
Yes, they have to hold. Otherwise, if they increase, market will be completely different. Then
All
lots
right.
of people will be in the sink and they in trouble. Right now, the situation is very bad. Lots of people having issue with the mortgage, behind mortgage, and things are bad.
Leonard?
So yeah, it will be hold.
I think they're going to hold it.
You're going to hold it? All right. And Jyoti?
Yeah, I think they have kept it unchanged for quite a few times. And the wise thing to do would to keep it unchanged, if not lower it. They could lower it to revive the market, but that also seems unlikely. So I guess they will keep it unchanged. That seems to be the popular opinion.
Just one reminder to all of you, the variable rates are different than the fixed rates. Fixed rates in Canada are based upon the bond market, and they have nothing to do with Bank of Canada rate. But again, Bank of Canada made a couple of very strong statements today. I'm going to be sharing with you shortly, though. So Frank Fernandez is our mortgage guy. He is a gentleman who's very creative. If you have a mortgage and the bank is not help you to able to renew it, he might be able to assist you with the private funds or private mortgages. If you're looking for a second mortgage, if you're in a situation where you find yourself, I got myself spread way too far, too thin, he might be able to help you to consolidate. If you have high debt loans, credit cards, or any loans which are more than 6% or higher, he can consolidate into one mortgage for you. Frank, what would you like to add tonight?
Yes, same thing. And if somebody need secure or unsecured business loans, line of credit, I can get within 3 to 5 business days.
Well, there are some very sticky situations where it can be difficult. I refer to you one gentleman in London, Ontario. Were you able to help him out?
Yes, I will try to get it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So what happened in this scenario? The gentleman approached us and said, listen, I want to buy a house. I got 10% down payment, but I filed a consumer proposal. And he's willing to put his parents on, and it's qualified to align. But nowadays, the banks are very, very careful. So is the CMHC. Again, speaking to a professional mortgage broker will help you and get few opinions before you sign in a dotted line. All right. Vladimir is going to be talking to him about a minute shortly. What are large players are doing in Canadian real estate now? So what the builders or developers who are building condos have shifted into very high demand real estate called build to rent. These are purpose-built multifamily rental buildings though. And you might have noticed that this is a different set of model altogether. And why is that? Because they're getting incentives, they're getting a beautiful mortgages, a lot less development charges, lot less red tape, and you're gonna find that we have not built rental units for a very long time, and this is about the time. And you may want to see some of these developers, and you can follow the model, and you can do single family to 5 units or 8 units in Toronto. Anybody interested in doing that? If you don't have all the resources, myself and my other friend, we did some courses together for developers in Toronto recently. We have been hustling in that industry for a while. And we have a couple of builders and developers who can help you if you do not want to get involved, because it's a very complicated process, by the way. So we've been doing this networking for a long time. Forget about that. What we are missing? No. There's something we went missing here. What did we miss? Oh, did we miss? No. Leonard, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. So what were you going to discuss today? Special questions?
Any questions? Yeah, I didn't prepare anything.
No. Remember, I mentioned something if I will discuss in the meeting.
Oh, you're talking about the issue that Toronto home price is down 33%?
Or there was something else, sorry. You and I discussed it on a chat or something.
Facebook? Yeah, that's the one we talked about.
Yeah, okay, all right. So share with us what exactly is happening.
I think there's the Toronto home price is down 33% from their peak since March 2022. That means a lot of homeowners now have too little equity on the lender requirement. So they have an issue of getting equity or even length can't increase the amortization. And also some of them are having a hard time switching the lenders too. So that's kind of creating a issue of a lot of people getting refinanced or changing the mortgages. I'm sure Frank can echo in those things. And also nationally, about 60% of Canadian mortgage holders are renewing this year, may face payment increase of 15 to 20%. Even though it's a small bump, it's a real financial reset for a lot of families. So these are the one that we talked about a little bit more. that shows nearly 1 in 10 Toronto owners may not qualify to refinance next year. So there's a lot of people that can run into risk.
Yeah, that's a news released by Bank of Canada today, by the way.
Oh, okay.
But Leonard is sharing it right now. And there was another news by Paranet as well, where property owners who bought the property in 2022, after that, they're trying to get rid of it. Almost 40% of them are losing money altogether. So that is, I think that's part of the conversation. Anybody have any particular question today? Please go ahead and ask to any of the experts if you like, or we'll be happy to answer it for you. Oh, Terry Wallman is here. Terry, are you there?
I'm here, but I have a sore throat. But the value's down, interest rate stable. Is it the time to buy properties that cash flow positive? Yes.
So I understand that, by the way, is it okay if I mention something? Terry Wallman is a real estate mortgage enforcer. When people default, he himself, for his lender, for his clients, banks, lenders, private lenders, or whatever, he enforces them under power of sale. And recently he sent a little text message to me that he sold a bunch of power sale quickly last week. Is that correct, Terry?
Yeah, and it's interesting. In Markham, we just sold one that's closing next Friday. This Friday, actually, this Friday, for $1,750,000. And the title insurer wanted information from the buyer. So they called us and they wanted to know why it was selling for $1,750,000 because 8 years ago, it sold for $1,750,000.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's 2017 prices, 2018 prices. Okay.
Yeah. 8 years later, it went up and it went down. And now I've seen that particular property. And yes, the owner who was in financial trouble, he was a financial analyst actually for one of the banks. And he was in his own personal financial problem. He didn't take any care of the house. It was deferred maintenance for many years. So truly, maybe the price should have been closer to $2 million, but because of the deferred maintenance, down to $1,750,000. So protect your properties, maintain your properties, maintain their values, and cash flow is king.
Excellent. Do you have anything in Markham for 4,000 or 5,000 square feet under?
In Markham?
Yes. Or Richmond Hill?
Well, I have that one house that's 20,000 square feet, if you'd like. That went from a $34 million listing down to 12 million. And without any offers at all, he decided to list and raise it back up to 18 million for some reason. So anybody wants a 20,000 square foot house, let me know.
All right. How about the condo market?
The downtown condo market, the little boxes, as you probably know, people have been losing those left, right, and center because they had all bought with the hope that there was going to be tenants, and the tenants have fled that little tiny box market, and there's so many empty units right now. Then you have the big corporate guys from the States and Canada that are buying up 200, 300, 500 units at a time. So they'll absorb the market, but there's still no tenants there. So that'll be years before those fill back up.
What I noticed that there are a couple of American companies came in and US companies came in and they came up with special package deals buying these condos where they have excellent strategy to increase the revenue, dramatically increase the revenue, including furnishing it including offering all the bells and whistles and all the facilities, and plus the subscription services.
Right,
And
right.
I'll be sharing some of the information with you in the coming meetings. It's amazing that the rent could be even $2,000, and the tenant's paying extra $500 to $1,000 on top of it, which goes directly to the landlord. It has nothing to do with the housing. It's part of the, you can say, facilities, a part of the services a landlord can offer, especially on a corporate level. And it can improve the cash flow dramatically. It looks great on the spreadsheet. It looks great for investors. And these are fairly large private equity companies. Uh, Unfortunately, I'm not able to disclose the name of three companies which are buying a lot of real estate in Vancouver and Toronto. For them, it's a bargain, pure bargain, just like cottages. Especially, these are all Americans, or American-based private equity companies.
And
And this is amazing.
the other thing, Navtaj, is when you're buying 500 units, you're monopolizing the market,
Absolutely.
and you do not let tenants in until you get your price. So there's going to be lack of supply unless you're willing to pay. So they will get a increased rental rate as well. It's just a matter of time, and they can hold out until they get it.
Exactly. Well, they're adding up, they're furnishing all the units. Yes, go ahead.
No, no, Raj, I just want to just point it out that I do, in your point, I do working with an investors group that they are buying a bulk units. If anybody out there want to sell the bulk units as a condo, we are interested in it. We just finished about 30 units in downtown, but we just wrap it up around $500 square feet. With that, I have another question. I heard that the government is also talking the builders to develop condos that more targeting in users instead of building a smaller units. But most of the condos are bought by a lot of investors. So if they're targeting a lot of in users, would that how the condo market will perform with the investors?
Harry?
I would say the same thing, that it is, it's a supply and demand, and you got to get those builders to build in the first place. But if there's the supply is there, your pricing will be leveled out. If the demand overtakes the supply, which I think it will in 3-4 years from now, then you'll have an up market again. So you buying those 30 units, I think you're positioning yourself and your clients in the best possible position right now, because 3 years out, those values will start to shoot up. Not until then, but it will. Just because there's so many builders on the sidelines, they're losing their trades. They can't afford to keep their trades right now. When they come back on line, they're going to be looking around for tradespeople that there aren't existing. That will push the pricing up again.
There will be no supply in 2029, 2030, because it takes 3 to 4 years, even 5 years to build a condo building, by the way. And as we speak in the present moment, there are not that many developers who are building any condos in GTA. And that's going to be a huge problem down the road, just like the economy is shifting, the market is shifting, and this AI is also creating its own fears, fear of missing out, whatever it is. And I believe that Toronto, it will be very similar to New York City. And people will live far away from Toronto. Like some of the areas, there are about 5 or 6 areas in Toronto I can share with you. They have almost zero effect since 2022. They're still rising. There's still great demand. They probably get sold within 7 days. But there are very few pockets in Toronto. And I do believe that this is going to come back within the next 3 to 5 years. We will find that those areas will still be booming. It will That's what it is, and there will be a great appreciation regardless, though. Other areas are going to have ripple effect right now. For example, Pickering, Ajax area to Whitby to Barrie to go around Toronto. A lot of builders are hurting, and I do believe that a lot of people are shifting. That working from home is almost going to become past. Everybody's back to the office. So again, there may be a shift that the Toronto condo will be back in demand within the next 2 years or 3 years. Anybody else like to add their opinion on it? Any experts?
Leonard, how many more do you want to buy?
Exactly. Depends. Well, one of the strategy we have.
These guys open to it. As long as the price is right, they don't mind.
Well, I can introduce you. I don't know if you remember that. We had 45 condos in Calgary where Keith Martin bought one and a couple of other investors bought one. We had a 45 unit directly from the second largest builder, which was Minto. And when they offered a deal, they didn't want to give us a break in the price, but they were offering us 2 years no payments, 2 years rental guarantee, and I believe they throw some parking lot or locker space on top of that. And it turned out to be a very reasonable deal. And I believe that owner financing is the key for a lot of large companies, though. So there are a few developers, for example, are they interested only in buying Toronto or Vancouver too?
They don't mind. They okay with anywhere in Canada. It's just the price. The thing is that $500 a square feet, something that they're looking at. So something like that we target right now that we did in downtown. Right now they're finalizing another 20 units in Durham region.
Okay.
So we'll see how's it go.
Okay, I'd like to also want to welcome to Barry Lebo. If you can unmute yourself, Barry. I'd like to hear what you think of the current market.
What do I think of the current?
Yeah, what do you think of current? Yes, what's happening in the real estate market?
You can hear me okay?
We can hear loud and clear. By the way, Barry Lebo is one of the gentlemen who is considered authority in Canadian real estate. He's been around for the business for maybe 50 or 60 years, something along the line.
59 years, I'm starting in August.
All right.
So
You don't even look that old, Barry. You don't even look that old.
I'm that old. What can I tell you? In the meantime, I haven't walked out my door since 7 o'clock this morning because of work. This is not the worst real estate market I've ever seen. I mean, the 70s were brutal, the 80s were horrible, and so were the 90s. It's just a cycle. And I never worry about them because of the simple fact that when I look at the Toronto Real Estate Board or any real estate board statistics on the worst day of the worst year, people bought houses, people bought real estate. And I think that the economists, they don't know how to measure emotion. They don't understand the desire for people to own real estate. And that's where they fail. And that's why I don't follow a lot of economists, because they only look at numbers. And numbers aren't 100% accurate. I spent years studying statistics in my appraisal years. I ignore them, and I use statistics that are more. I ignore the ones like the Toronto Real Estate Board publishes or Korea publishes, because if we're looking at Toronto as a whole, that means the lowest price house, which would be in Toronto, if you know Old Weston Road in St. Clair, you don't get much crappier houses than that. And I'm sorry if somebody lives there, in that area, about trying to demean you. It's just reality. And the bridle path houses are all thrown into the same pot, and then they're averaged. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Same thing with the condo market. What's pulling down the condo market? 400, 500, even 600 square foot condos. Start giving me stats on stats by square footage. What is happening in the 800 to 900 square foot range? What's happening in the 1,000? You know what? Your numbers are going to change. They're going to change completely. So, do I worry about a real estate market? No. If mortgage rates went to 10%, would I be upset? No. If we had 20% unemployment, would I worry? No. Because people are going to buy houses, period. And that's my take on the market.
Thank you, Barry. Appreciate it. Barry, last few words.
Last
Me?
few words? Am I supposed to do Hari
Me or
Kari
Barry?
when I finish this? What? My last few words.
No. We're gonna wrap up the meeting soon, Barry.
I'm sorry I came late. It's been
No,
a
it's all good.
crazy day.
I'm glad you made it tonight, though. Barry Wallman.
I was going to ask Barry. Barry, I don't know if you were in the session when we were being asked about the Bank of Canada rate setting tomorrow, and where everybody on the panel said, they're going to stay where it is right now. I'm the contrary, and I'm looking at the Canadian dollar and saying, you know what, they might actually raise the rate.
It's possible. And like I say, Ter, I don't care.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, you're old enough. You've lived through 14.5% when people prime first mortgages and better. And
Yep.
people kept buying houses.
Yep, they did. 70 was pretty bad. The oil embargo. The 81 was a real V shape. 90 was the U shape. The
but
2000,
70s, you're
yeah, the
missing
2000.
something. In April the 9th, 1974, the government brought in the land speculation tax,
Right.
thinking that they can curtail the market, which goes to prove a Lebo axiom: for every successful business venture is a piece of Ontario legislation waiting to wipe it out.
Absolutely. We plan, God laughs.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see more government intervention.
Oh, with Carney, absolutely.
And Ford.
Yeah.
We've got
It,
problems. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. I was on a committee of a few business people combined with people from the city that tried to solve the homeless problem. And the people I was on the committee with were really sharp. And the city is impossible. They won't move forward when you give them a good suggestion. And we could have solved a lot of the homeless problem if the city would listen to us.
Wait a second. You were going to ship them all to Hamilton?
Well, unfortunately, Toronto, if you look at what they've done, they've ruined downtown Aurelia, downtown Barrie, downtown Cobourg. You want me to keep going? They've dumped people. They put them on buses and dumped them to get them out of Toronto. Now, every one of these little cities in Ontario that were charming have tremendous problems, Cobourg being the worst. Major drug problem.
Yep, that's pretty bad.
You don't just dump your problems. You solve your problems.
And then on a happier,
to deal with the homeless.
Hang on, Barry. On a happier note, Naftaj, when's the next meeting?
July 14th and August 11th. Every second Tuesday of the month.
Perfect.
Hey, Naftaj.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It is 8 o'clock. Time to say thank you once again. And whatever you do, enjoy this beautiful summer. And anybody like to add? Okay. Anybody like to add one word or two? Please go ahead before we wrap it up. Thank you once again, everybody.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I came late. I really am sorry.
Not to worry. It's all good. I'm glad you made it tonight, my friend. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.